Why your mind goes blank in meetings. You know that moment. Your name gets called in the meeting, everyone turns their head, all eyes land on you, and suddenly your mind goes blank. Your chest tightens, your thoughts disappear. Your voice feels trapped somewhere between your ribs and your throat. You know the answer. You rehearsed your points. You're not stupid. So why do you freeze? What if I told you the problem isn't your confidence? It's the psychology of being watched. A very specific kind of workplace pressure that nobody warns you about. Today, we're breaking it all down. Why you freeze, why your brain shuts down, and how to finally stop feeling powerless in meetings. You're not nervous, you're overstimulated. Most people think freezing is nervousness. But freezing is not fear. Freezing is a biological shutdown. Your brain switches from thinking to surviving. Here's the invisible switch happening inside you. When you speak in a meeting, your brain senses, I'm being evaluated. Not listened to, evaluated. Your nervous system interprets this as social danger. The same kind of danger humans felt thousands of years ago when social rejection meant isolation. So when your boss looks up, when 5 coworkers stare, when the room goes silent, your brain does something extremely logical. It protects you. It shuts down higher thinking and moves resources into threat response. You literally can't think clearly. This is not weakness. This is a survival reflex. But workplaces never teach you this. So you think something is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with you. Your biology is doing exactly what it was designed to do. Your brain hates unexpected attention. Let me tell you the brutal truth. You freeze because you feel put on the spot. Even if you knew the topic, even if you prepared, the second someone says, "What do you think?" your attention shifts from the idea to yourself. You start monitoring how you're sitting, how your voice sounds, whether your face looks nervous, whether you're taking too long, whether people agree, whether your boss is judging you, whether you're saying something stupid. This is called self-surveillance. When your brain tries to watch itself while also forming ideas, it overloads. It's like trying to drive a car while staring directly into your own rearview mirror. You can do one, but not both. This internal split is what creates the freeze. Meetings trigger your childhood programming. Now, let's go even deeper because workplace psychology doesn't start in the workplace. Your reaction in meetings is rooted in something older. How you learned to express yourself as a child. If you grew up with strict parents, critical teachers, family members who talked over you, being told to speak properly, being punished for mistakes, being told don't embarrass yourself, or never being encouraged to share opinions, your brain learns something very early. Speaking up equals danger. Now you're an adult in a meeting room, but your nervous system is reacting like you're still 8 years old. Your body remembers criticism. It remembers embarrassment. It remembers needing permission to speak. That's why your freeze feels so automatic, because it doesn't come from adulthood. It comes from childhood. And here's the important part. You can outgrow it, but only when you understand it. You fear the social consequences, not the topic. People don't freeze because they don't know what to say. They freeze because of what speaking might cost them. In meetings, you're juggling too many invisible threats, like, what if I'm wrong? What if they think I'm incompetent? What if my idea gets ignored? What if my boss disagrees? What if I embarrass myself? What if I talk too long? What if I look stupid? Your brain is not afraid of the idea. It's afraid of the possible consequences. The meeting becomes a minefield, not a conversation. So your brain decides the safest option
is silence. Silence feels like control. Freezing feels like protection. This is why your voice won't come out, because a part of you is convinced that speaking is a risk. And here's the truth. You don't fear judgment from the room. You fear judgment from yourself afterward. You fear replaying the moment for hours. You fear the self-criticism more than the criticism. That fear is what shuts you down. You don't freeze everywhere, only where power exists. Let's be honest. You don't freeze talking to friends. You don't freeze texting. You don't freeze in casual conversations. You freeze in power dynamics. Meetings have hierarchy. Your manager, the loud talker, the confident coworker, the senior people, the person who intimidates you. Your brain knows who has more influence, and that's what creates pressure. Here's a truth most people never admit. You don't freeze because the group is watching. You freeze because certain people in the group are watching. You fear disappointing your boss, being challenged by the loud talker, being corrected in front of everyone, exposing your inexperience, losing respect. Freezing is not a communication problem. Freezing is a power problem. And once you understand the power dynamic, everything changes. Your inner critic is louder than your real voice. When you speak, two voices appear. Your real voice, the one that knows what to say and has clear ideas. Your inner critic, the one that says, "Don't say that. You sound stupid. You're talking too slow. They're not interested. You're wasting time. You're messing this up." Here's the psychological twist. Your real voice talks softly, but your inner critic shouts. The critic is older because it was built through years of fear, comparison, and self-doubt. The moment you speak, the critic jumps in and hijacks your brain. Your thoughts scatter, your words disappear, your voice trembles. Not because you're weak, because the critic is faster. Your brain can process fear in 10 milliseconds. It processes calm, logical thinking in 400 milliseconds. Fear literally outruns intelligence. That's why the freeze feels instantaneous. It is. You were never trained for this. Here's the most unfair part. Workplaces expect you to speak up confidently, but nobody ever trained you how. School taught you math. It taught you essays. It taught you exams. But did anyone teach you how to speak under pressure? How to handle being interrupted? How to present ideas clearly? How to sound confident in front of senior people? How to communicate with authority? How to regulate nerves in real time? No. So now you're an adult, being judged for skills you were never taught. Freezing isn't incompetence, it's lack of training. That's the truth no one tells you. You think everyone is noticing. They're not. You feel like the entire room sees your anxiety, your shaking hands, your uneven breathing, your mental blank. But here's the psychology. Humans are too self-absorbed to notice your nervousness. Everyone in that room is worrying about their own performance. Your freeze feels huge to you and invisible to them. This doesn't minimize your experience. It frees you because it means the only person judging you is you. The room isn't rejecting you, your mind is. And here's how you stop freezing, step by step. Now, let's move into the part that matters. How do you break the freeze? Here are the methods backed by psychology, not motivational nonsense. 1. Pre-speak to reduce the spotlight effect. Say one short sentence early in the meeting. It doesn't have to be important. Like, "Yes, I saw that. I agree. That makes sense." Why? Because speaking once reduces the brain's fear of speaking later. Silence increases pressure. Small comments reduce it. 2. Use the 2-second pause. Before you speak, take 2 seconds. Not 5, not 10. 2. This turns panic into control. It also signals confidence, because confident people don't rush. 3. Look at one friendly face. Never talk to the whole room. Choose one person who feels safest and speak to them. Your nervous system interprets it as a one-to-one conversation. This lowers threat dramatically. 4. Script your first sentence only. Don't plan the whole answer, just the opening. Your brain needs a launch pad, not a script. Once the first sentence is out, your thoughts start flowing. 5. Lower the stakes in your head. Say this internally.
I don't need the perfect answer, just a clear one. 6. Stop trying to sound smart. Here's the counterintuitive truth. Great communicators don't impress with complexity. They impress with clarity. 7. Practice speaking when there is no pressure. Speak during casual moments. Before the meeting starts, small comments and discussions. Ask one harmless question. The uncomfortable truth. You freeze because you were never shown how to trust your voice. Not your words, your voice. Somewhere along the line, you learned that speaking was unsafe. Maybe someone shut you down. Maybe someone humiliated you. Now you sit in meetings with a voice that wants to rise and a mind that wants to hide. But here's the truth you need to hear. Your ideas are not the problem. Your voice is not the problem. Your mind is not the problem. The problem is the old programming that no longer serves you. And now, for the first time, you're rewriting it. You're not weak. You're not incapable. You are someone who learned to shrink in places where you should have been allowed to grow. And now, you're reclaiming that. One meeting at a time, one sentence at a time, one breath at a time. Now, you're making it safe. Before you leave, if this video helped you understand yourself better, subscribe. Not for motivation, not for empty advice, but because this channel exists for people like you. People who think deeply, feel deeply, and notice everything no one else talks about. Here, we break the psychology of work, power, reputation, and human behavior every single week. If you're tired of being overlooked, misunderstood, or underestimated, join us. If you freeze in meetings, you're not broken. You're overloaded. Your brain is protecting you, not betraying you. Tell me in the comment, what part of speaking up at work scares you the most? Is it being judged, being ignored, or saying the wrong thing in front of the wrong person? I read every comment, and I make future videos based on your struggles. You're not alone in this.